Hello, hello, hello. Today is the 14th of July. It is time to hear from our good friend Norm Winski. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Jeff. I was last on your show on Sunday, June 18th. That was a 3-day weekend. Monday, the 19th, was a market holiday. And I gave the folks these points here. We had 4 points for Windows. We had the weekend, 16th AC after close. That means in this case, because that was a Friday over the weekend. Saturn in Pisces was turning retrograde, with Saturn is coffee and Pisces is oil. Then we had also a new moon that weekend. So anytime we have a new moon, full moon, we round up the usual suspects: financials, grains, and precious metals. And then we had Jupiter to the U.S. chart, and that's U.S. stocks, T-bonds, U.S. dollar. If anybody wants any explanation of these terms or concepts, give me a call. I'll help you for free with a money back guarantee. And then the night of the 22nd, Mercury is 0 north latitude. And anytime we have Mercury, that's the grains, corn, soybeans, wheat. And please note that the stock market, because it's the big basket of everything, potentially responds to all these points when it's working well. Okay, so now I'm going to review the chart, see how things came out. The first one up is corn. I'm going to do the grains first, and they had 2 points there. They had the moon, the new moon, and Mercury. So we had the night, the weekend of the 16th. That takes you to the opening of the Tuesday, the 20th, because Monday was closed, and then also you had and then you had the Mercury point there. The night of the 22nd takes you to the opening of the 23rd. So here we go. Here's the chart. There's the moon, and you can see you were 1 day ahead of that big top there in the corn. We missed we're a little 1 day late on our Mercury point, so I had to mark that as a miss. Green is good, red is bad. Okay, and if we see yellow, I think I have one yellow. That's a pass because it's going sideways, or it's a confusing possible signal. All right, here's soybeans. Did pretty much the same as the corn. 1 day ahead of the high there is the moon, and then you had a pretty good down, and the Mercury thing, it was a day late. And saying the wheat was the opposite. It ran through the Mercury point, our moon point, but did top on the Mercury point. Here's coffee. Coffee had a little bit of rally there. If you sold against that top there, you would have done quite well. That's about 20 handles. 20 cents is a 375 penny, or a handle is worth about $7,500 in about a week. Here's oil. You're right a day ahead of that high there, and then a nice pullback on the oil, about 4 handles for about $4,000. Here's we very close to the high here on silver, a fraction of a penny right there, and then you had a big down. Gold did pretty much the same thing, right past that high there, and big down. Those were lunar points, moon points. And here's the S&P. We had a little tough sledding here on the S&P because the market topped a day, almost a day early. And then, to make things worse, it gapped down on that Tuesday. So you weren't even in the window where you could reasonably sell against that high there. So I had 2 points there for that window. So we had two misses there. And then we had a point to the U.S. chart, and it continued lower. So that's a miss too. But we did have the Mercury point, and that was a day before that low, before the pretty big rally there. Here's the T-bonds. We had a little short-term top there for the T-bonds. I think that was good for almost 2 handles for $2,000. Here's a double bottom on the moon and the U.S. point for the U.S. dollar, and then the rest, all the currencies are strictly on the new moon. New moon. Here's the Aussie making a top right there on the new moon. You might say that was kind of awesome. A little Aussie joke there. And here's the S&P British pound made a top there on the moon. Canadian dollar made a little short-term 1 day high there on the moon. Euro made a little top there on the moon. Yen made a little low there on the moon. And there we go. So we add up the green arrows, red arrows. We had 16 winners, 6 misses out of 22 for 72.72%. I did not show you this in advance. You'll have to take my word for it or get one of my past letters. But every month, before I publish my monthly letter, I have these charts, so blue line, the forecast, the timing and direction for the stock market. And then as we go along during the month, I send out an update with overlaying the S&P 500 on top. And at the end of the month, we have the full results, and that's what you see here. The 10-minute bars, I believe S&P 500 black on top of my blue line forecast. As you can see, that worked out pretty well. Here we go. Here's the future coming up now. So this weekend, we're doing this on the afternoon of the 14th. AC after the close, so that'll be over the weekend. We have Pluto to the U.S. chart, U.S. stocks, T-bonds, U.S. dollar. We have a new moon coming up in the sign of Cancer Monday afternoon, the 17th. And so we'll round up the financials, grains, precious metals. And because the new moon is in the sign of Cancer, that's a double whammy for silver because Cancer is the ruling sign for silver and the moon rules Cancer. That's a big double whammy for silver. Then we have Jupiter to the U.S. chart the night of the 17th, U.S. stocks, T-bonds, U.S. dollar. The morning of the 19th, Uranus to the U.S. Neptune. That's a U.S. thing too. Plus, because U.S. Neptune is involved, that's oil. And then the weekend of the 21st, this is one of the top things of the month. Venus in Leo will turn retrograde. Anytime a planet turns direct or retrograde, that's usually a high percentage turn for several markets. In this case, we got cattle, copper, corn, cotton, gold, sugar, and wheat. I want to give a little extra time now to the S&P 500 and what's happened here in the big picture. The S&P 500 last year had a bear market dropping 1,327 handles from the January high to the October low. It's since rallied past all the major Fibonacci retracement levels that most Fibonacci traders use, except there's one left. That's the 786 retracement, and that would take you to 45.35. And today we got to, I got that here somewhere. Oh, there we go. There it is. 45.27, almost 45.28. That's within like 7 handles of that number. I think that the ideal scenario would be if the market were to go back up. We had a little bit of a pullback, small pullback today, and into the close. And if we were to rally again on Monday and get back to that level there, maybe get to 45.35 near the new moon, that would be the ideal. I'm not saying that's going to happen. Often the market doesn't do what I want it to. Isn't that shocking, Jeff? Anyway, that's what I would like to see, and we're in the kind of in the window here where we could be at a big inflection point. Should the market take out 45.35 by any substantial amount, that would suggest that we could go all the way back to retest the all-time high at 48.19. If it fails here and starts headed lower, we could be looking at a big turn, somewhat analogous. I hate to scare everybody, but somewhat analogous to, you had the big rally in 1930 after the crash. That retraced 80% of the crash there in 1930. Before then, it resumed a very nasty bear market. Right? Not saying that's exactly what's going to happen, but sort of a general model of what could happen. Okay, so that's what I'm thinking. And here's, if you're not familiar with me, I have about 50 years of experience. I started investing using the planets when I was in college, made enough money to buy a membership on the Chicago Board Options Exchange when it was new in 1975. I was there for 12 years, and I also was on the Chicago Board of Trade. And I'm looking forward to helping some of your folks, Jeff. Here's my contact information. Let's see, we have, I'm in beautiful Naples, Florida. 239-216-2578 is my phone. Here's my email, nwinski@yahoo.com. And you can call me on Skype at nwinski_1. Looking forward to helping some of the folks, Ike. I'll be happy to talk to them. And by the way, if you think this is complicated, it's just you're not familiar with some of these terms. Once you learn the terms, Nothing is over a fifth grade level. Everybody have a great weekend. Looking forward to hearing from you.
Norm, terrific as always. We always love to have you on the channel, and we'll see you back in a few weeks.
Thank you very much, Jeff.